Starboard slip. I always take my big old guys or teeth. I just rent me a vendor table next year, Sam, and I'll sell coffee. You sell it for $1 a cup, still make money, can't you? Oh yeah, for an 8-ounce cup, not a 2.5 ounce.
Hey, what's up, everybody? KE5WDP, Wascom, Texas. Now, it's been a while since I've done a video here on this channel. So, as you guys saw, I've got the radio going here. It's a Yaesu FT-450d. And one of the things, I don't think I showed y'all this in the last video. I've got this Yaesu M-90 I bought for it. This came in probably a couple days after I bought the radio. And I talk on it. The main frequency that I talk on is 3922. I mean, those guys go in pretty late at night. I like to be on a little later. And those guys already kind of know each other. I know, like, one of the guys really good, and I met a few guys at the Shreveport Ham Fest. So I'm still trying to get my way into the group there. But good bunch of guys, though, I'll tell you that right now. Good group of guys to talk to. Down to earth and, you know, not real snobby or anything like that, like you get with a lot of ham radio operators. But 3922, I live in Wascom, Texas. A lot of these guys live in Louisiana and East Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma. So just kind of regional thing. But if you guys don't know where Wascom, Texas is, it's the very last town. If you're headed east on I-20, we're the very last town before you get into Louisiana. So we're right there on the line, actually. But anyway, we got that. I use that Yaesu 857 for 2 meter. Not a lot of activity on 2 meter, and really not a lot of activity on the HF bands. Now, usually during the summertime, I've always noticed that it's not as busy, but in the wintertime, more people are inside, and so people are on more. And the band gets a little bit more quiet as far as the static and things of that nature. Well, anyway, it's been a while since I've done a video, and I want to kind of do more videos, but I see that there's been a few subscribers come in, and I appreciate that. A couple of my videos have gotten some pretty decent views, and I appreciate that too. I'll tell you kind of one of the things that I wanted to do on here, and maybe use the YouTube platform to do it. But back a few years ago, I kind of thought about doing this whole deplorable radio club. All right, obviously deplorables comes from when Hillary Clinton called Trump supporters a bunch of deplorables, and we just kind of ran with it. I was one of those guys that ran with it, and so that's where the name comes from. But I often thought about maybe creating a club. Now, back about 5 or 6 years ago, that I was on my way to do it. I think the people that I was going to do it with just didn't really seem to be too involved with the radio side, because I was talking to like truck drivers about doing it. And here's the deal: you got to be committed to do something at home, right? To have a station at home, you've got to be committed. Like, okay, you've got to set out to buy the radio, buy the antenna, buy the coax, have a place to put that stuff. And a lot of people, like, especially drivers, oh, that sounds fun, but then when they go and think about it, oh, that's expensive and a lot of work. For what? Who am I going to talk to? And that's the problem when you get into the hobby and you don't have anyone to talk to. It's actually pretty discouraging, and that's the reason why that this hobby is kind of dying, because a lot of the old codgers, the Elmers, are kind of, well, they're getting old and they pass away. As a matter of fact, one of the guys that got me interested in doing clubs, BS3 KB5 ZPW, he passed away a couple of years ago, and he was 80-something years old. I mean, he's just an older fella, and he was always really good to me. He was just a really nice guy, and so I'm, and he was a good friend. But he ran this radio club. It was, oh gosh, radio club was probably about 30 to 40 years old and had hundreds of thousands of members all across the world. And he passed away. One of the guys that was really helping him push it passed away around the same time. And, so that club is dead. It's been dead. And, the local clubs around here, they're kind of blah, I've been wanting to get into this local club around here, around Marshall, but I just haven't committed to going to a club meeting. I always miss it for some reason. I just like, oh, gosh, I was going to go to this, Here I am. I'm home. I work from home. It's something I've always wanted to do, and I was like, I'm going to get back in radios. And really, only thing I do is get on 3922 and talk to the guys there. But one of the things that I wanted to do was start up that deplorable radio club. One of these days, I'm going to do it. And really, the people who I'm looking for are people that are just like-minded conservatives. Just have a lot of stuff in common like that. One of the groups, clubs, if you will call it that, was real popular about 10, 15 years ago, called the Possum Net. But they're all a bunch of freaking libtards. And they were all around Georgia and places like that. But yeah, I think the main thing is to get a few guys just to meet on one frequency and just start talking, and they just call us a club. That's it. Like, it doesn't have to be that big of a deal, but yeah, that's one of the things I'm wanting to do, for sure, right here on the radio, because I think clubs make things a little bit more enjoyable for radios, right? For the radio hobby. That way, you go to Hamfest and stuff like that. You get you a table or wear you a shirt or something like that you kind of identify as, oh, you're a part of that and stuff like that. So that's that's one of the things, right? And it gives you something to do. It gives you some guys to talk to, and you have a name. You have a name. But anyway, I think that's it. I don't have really much else to talk about here. Not much going on. We'll get into do more radio stuff. I think I'm going to go and get my Dell out and maybe do a little bit of PSK31. I enjoyed doing that before. Do that again sometime. Plug it up into this 450 and see what we could do with that. But outside of that, I just enjoy talking. I'm not much of a contacts, get as many contacts. Every now and then, if the bands are open, I may go see if someone can hear me. But outside of that, I'm not a paper chaser. I'm not a contester. I just rather sit there and chew on the old rag. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching, and subscribe to the channel and see what we can do with this channel one of these days. So 73.